I knew that if I was gonna, go on this adventure, on this journey of having a fish room, that I would need to make it easy to maintain and do water changes. So that's exactly what I've done. I want to share with you guys what I have going on here, and it's really simple. When I run the system for an hour, I get a 10% water change on all of my tanks. Simple math. Don't mind this huge 220. That's kind of a secret. What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video for you, and today we're not really going to focus on the fish and the tanks and the shrimp. We're actually going to focus on how it's possible for me to even keep this many tanks and keep up with the maintenance, aka water changes, and that is the automatic water change system that I have going on here in the fish cave. As much as Mrs. Lucky Schmuck is very supportive of me, and she especially loves looking at all the baby fish and shrimp, she draws the line at water changes. So it is up to me, it is my responsibility to take care of these tanks. And I knew that if I was gonna, go on this adventure, on this journey of having a fish room, that I would need to make it easy to maintain and do water changes. So that's exactly what I've done. Let me show you guys how. Here is the brains of the operation, but I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Cory from Aquarium Co-op, as well as Carlos the fish nerd. If I didn't watch their videos over and over and over again, there's no way I would have been able to kind of customize this auto water change system for my needs. And that's exactly what it is. It is a system that fits my needs. I watched probably a few dozen videos, but like I said, videos by Cory and Carlos the fish nerd were definitely ones that I watched multiple times, and I used a lot of their ideas. So big shout out and thank you to them, for putting those videos out there and making them available to people like me. So yeah, I want to share with you guys what I have going on here, and it's really simple. Essentially, there is a hose right outside this garage door, and a spigot, essentially. I have my hose is hooked up there, and when I turn it on, it will bring water up this hose, around here, and into this thick 2-inch PVC. And what this is my carbon filter. Now this is thanks to Carlos the fish nerd. I pretty much replicated his build and kind of tweaked it to my needs. There is a pressure regulator before it, and then a bunch of different PVC adapters to get to 2-inch, and then back down to hose size, where we have a, sorry for the lighting here, but we have just a sprinkler timer that you would use for any irrigation system. And I bought a 2-part one. I'll explain that in a second, but right now just this right side one is hooked up. So whenever I want to do water changes, I usually set the timer. I don't have it on auto. I come out here and I'll do it and set it for like an hour or 2 hours usually. So what happens is I come out here, set it for 2 hours, turn the hose on, and set an alarm on my phone or something, and I can come here and turn it off. Eventually I want to get to the point where I can leave this hose on 24/7 and then just set this on a timer of every day, every other day, run for an hour. But I'll get into it in a second. This is not perfected yet. There's still some pressure issues, and if anybody out there has some expertise, I would love any advice. This system is working very well for me. The maintenance is almost nothing. Like I said, it's really easy to do water changes, but it's not automated in the sense where I don't have to do anything. I still have to come turn it on, but I'm not carrying buckets or mixing water or anything like that. So water comes up this 1-inch PVC and into these irrigation lines, which there's 16 of them, each of them for a tank. They come up here and they are distributed along the back, just as the air lines in that video, and they all drip into each tank. Now, at the end of each line is a drip emitter. Now these on the 20-gallon are 2-gallon per hour drip emitters. So if I run the system for 1 hour, that means that 2 gallons of water will fill into each of these 20-gallon longs, or 10% water change. So it's pretty simple. And to make my math even simpler, on the 10-gallon tanks, each is fitted with a 1 gallon per hour drip emitter. So same thing, 10% water change. So when I run the system for an hour, I get a 10% water change on all of my tanks. Simple math. So as the water drips out of each of the emitters, the excess water overflows at the back of each of the tanks. All the tanks are drilled. You can watch my video on that. And then the water will drip down these tubes and they fall into a main drain line that's a 2-inch PVC that goes along the base of the whole stand. And don't mind these wires, this is not good to have them there. And I'm going to gotta update the lighting and switch those around here shortly. So yeah, these pipes are just kind of loose fit in, and each of the 16 tanks has one. And like I said, everything's on an incline. So it all makes its way down the 2-inch PVC, which turns into 1-inch, kind of hugs the wall there, and goes out to the driveway and drains out there. So back to the second opening. Why did I buy one with two? Well, currently the only tanks on the automatic water change system is the rack system. The 125 is not yet. Don't mind this huge 220. That's kind of a secret, but we'll get to that in another video. Really cool story behind this tank. Super excited. But yeah, that is a huge 220-gallon tank in the fish cave. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled programming here. The 125 I want to set up as well, and I want to eventually run another PVC line for the 125 or maybe any other larger tanks that I set up in this fish cave. So what we're going to do here is eventually put another PVC of water for this one and then have it be a water change for larger tanks. That project's to come, but for now I'm very happy with the way the system works. Like I said, eventually I'd love to get to a point where I can literally just, have it run and not worry at all and not have to press any buttons, but I mean, I really can't complain. It was really easy to put together. I'll show a little quick little video of me, putting it together. It's really simple. So if you're curious kind of how it works, definitely share that with you guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve my system, please let me know. Drop a comment below. I'm always looking to learn. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video or learned something today, hit that like button. And as always, stay positive, stay passionate.